Here is the 2024 BMW M2 Coupe in Toronto Red Metallic over Cognac Vernesca leather. This is one of the most performance vehicles in its class. You're getting a 0 to 60 with the manual, which is what we have, around 4.2 seconds. That's BMW quoting. If you option the ZF automatic transmission, 3.9 seconds. And we have the M Driver Professional, which unlocks 177 miles per hour top speed. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and is this going to be the best coupe in class with some pros and cons and comparable rivals? Starting in the front, we have full adaptive LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the box structure kidney grille. This was refreshed last year. The lower bit gets the gloss black and the front parking sensors, and the M2 goes an extra step, giving you a track-ready heating system for what's housed underneath this hood. 3.0 liter BMW M-Powered Turbo, that's an inline 6-cylinder, producing 453 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. It's going to achieve 16 mpgs for the city, 24 mpgs for the highway. So it's still a practical vehicle with the weight distribution at 52.1, 47.9. But we have added the M carbon fiber roof, which sheds another 48 pounds. So that's going to alter the weight distribution to make it a little bit more aggressive, giving a lower center of gravity, a staggered wheel setup. This is a 275/35/19 up front with a 285/30/20 out back. 6-piston brakes is housed behind those red brake calipers, vented, slotted. That's what that disc is ready for. Full track performance or your daily commute. The fenders flare out, the lower skirt, the door handles are flush with the touch of the gloss black around the window trims and the lower M-Spec side view mirrors. Going back to the competition, the RS3 is going to be a little bit faster in the 0 to 60, but dynamically speaking, this is going to handle better, in which if you're taking any bends on the road or you're doing a circuit, this is going to outperform it. Going into Mercedes, you're going to spend a lot more money. Now, the problem that I have with the M2 though, is once you start optioning it up with features, this goes over a 70 grand price point quickly, in which it starts pushing you into an M3, not the competition, that'd be a couple grand more, but even at an M3 variant price, for a few grand more, you're gonna get 20 horsepower more than this with a little bit quicker 0 to 60s, and it would be a 4-door. But I personally like the coupe design. I wish that they optioned a convertible. The rear will get the LED taillights with the quad exhaust tips and the diffuser in the center, reverse sensors and a reverse camera, and a trunk lid spoiler with the square design that makes it look a lot more athletic than anybody in its class. And a quick release, going into 14 cubic feet of storage. You have a storage nook here on the side with bag holders, and you can split fold the rear bench in the back, and that will increase the cargo capacity to the M2 Coupe. We need to go inside and start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. 16-way power seat adjustment for the front with the Cognac Vernesca leather. The M2 badge illuminates, manual cushion extensions, memory for the driver. Headroom and leg room. This is going to be a lot more sporty, but you're expecting that for a coupe. Driver focus setup, you're going to get the carbon fiber inlays that's going to be on top of the ambient lighting, and that satin aluminum that goes into the air vents on both sides. Curve 1 panel, 2 screens, heads-up display, that is an upgrade. Harman Kardon upgraded sound system with a auto-dimming rear view mirror, LED interior lights, and we get a 14.9 infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. And when we put it into reverse, you get a reverse camera with trajectory for the front and the rear. You're going to have the parking sensors, plus you get the backup assist. Going into dual climate control settings, open up the carbon fiber, And here's the key fob for the M2 Coupe. USB 12-volt carbon fiber surrounding the 6-speed manual with the leather around the shifter and the iDrive, opening up into a wireless charging pad and a USB port, leather-wrapped steering wheel. Multi-function with the carbon fiber. M1 and M2, and it's heated. And the gauge cluster can go through an array of information for the driver, different content that you can put into the center. And you can also change out the heads-up display to make it a little bit more for reduced view or for a standard or even a larger view. Door panel and the dash configuring together, and I like how sporty it feels because it really feels aggressive, and it should. It's going to be a lot more sporty for your arms to rest, one touch up and down for the windows, ambient lighting for the door panel, the long storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. For the back seat's headroom, it's kind of doable for a quick lunch. Same thing with the leg room, but I wouldn't be able to drive as you're noticing how close it is to the steering wheel. It would be basically about here, which it would index, so it would be tight. Air vents in the center. You have a storage tray between both of the seats with armrests and the BMW M seat belts. 52.1, 47.9 weight distribution. BMW quotes 0 to 60 in this manual is at 4.2 seconds. We're gonna see what she gets. And the dynamics is there, but we do have tire shine, but it's holding brilliantly. It just glides through here. And with that carbon fiber roof shedding a near 50 pounds, that's also going to help the dynamics quite a bit with this vehicle, making it a lot closer to 50-50 weight distribution, lowering the center of gravity, which if you are thinking about the M3, yes, it's 20 horsepower more, and you could go to the competition and get 503 horsepower and 0.1 second quicker 0 to 60. The heel to toe is easy. You also have rev match, so you're taken care of there if you haven't driven a manual vehicle, and this is more of a delight. And check out the exit. Just hugs the road. You get up to speed so quick that you're gonna forget how fast you're going, and you're gonna end up passing a cop, and he's gonna give you a nice ticket to start off your weekday. It's going to take me to some pros and cons, and starting off with the pros is this is an engaged vehicle, so that means you're going to have a little bit more fun on your day in and day out use. You sit low, it feels very sporty, and it has that aggressive feel. So when I'm thinking at a base price, it is one of the best examples compared to anybody in its class. However, the con is once you start featuring it up, it puts you in another bracket of performance vehicles because you'll go over $70,000 so quick that you'll say, well, what happened? And some of those features, I hate to say, you kind of want them because it makes this vehicle what it is. Like the illuminated lights for the M2, that's an extra charge. The adaptive LED headlights, that's an extra charge. The heads-up display, pretty much every single thing you do, it's going to be like an a la carte, in which that's the big problem that I have starting off. On a Pro, it's still a relatively smooth drive with a M Sport differential, M-Tune suspension. This thing is insane. Plus, they give you the cooling system that is already track ready, which most vehicles don't even throw that in. The engagement is really where it's at because it's an exciting vehicle to drive on a day in and day out, and that's really what you're trying to accomplish when you start paying 60 to 70 grand for a car. You want something that long-term puts a smile on your face every time you start it up or you go from light to light. And the M2 does a great job in that. Going against rivals, the RS3 is a little bit better than this. Dynamically speaking, no. And the steering to this, it actually has a little bit more weight to it, so it feels a little bit more sporty, but then it's very sensitive too, in which when you're using it, if you do a hard steer, you can just slide off the road really quick with it. I wish the exhaust note filtered in a little bit more so, because 453 horsepower, it sounds very quiet for what it's worth. And when you go up the tier to like an M3 or even an M4 and you tack on the competition package, yes, you're going to be around the 80 grand price, so it's about $9,000 difference than this. But my problem is you're getting night and day difference. That's 503 horsepower opposed to 473 that's standard for the M3 or M4 variant. Plus, if you go into the M4, you're going to have a little bit more room in the back seat, and you can also option a convertible. But when you're getting a sports car like this, you're wanting to feel it. You're wanting the engagement. And you're getting that blend here. I would definitely option the carbon fiber roof because it sheds another 48 pounds. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're at just a touch over 3,800 pounds, every pound matters and it changes the drive. Not so much in the sense like you're gonna be, wow, it's like an M8. It's not gonna be like that. But it will make the handling a little bit more precise. Maybe you can get an extra 5-7 miles taking a corner. And when you're considering the M3, this is about 60-ish pounds less than that. So now you're at over 100 pounds less than that, so you can see where the dynamics would play a key role. And going into Cadillac, they have a lot of power underneath their hood, in which you can start seeing some savings on that end. But yet again, the fun for dynamics lies with the BMW, because they actually care about the geometry and integrity of the vehicle. I'm not saying Cadillac, Audi, and Mercedes don't. I'm just saying that BMW does a better job at getting a closer 50-50 weight distribution, which when you are taking this on the track, that's where you're going to see this thing light up, even if the 0 to 60 is a few tenths of a second slower than any of the rivals. Braking on the vehicle, I mean, you know, I don't have to do anything crazy. Turn radius at a stop point more or less is going to get about a lane-ish. Let's rock and roll. It's just a fun and exciting vehicle blended in for a daily use, or you could take it onto the track. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2024 BMW M2 Coupe for our car review.